So I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people's planners and calendar spreads with stickers and colors and designs, creativity all over the place. Maybe your calendar's not like that. My calendar's not like that. What's essential to having an organized calendar? Let me tell you the 3 things that you need to have an organized calendar that really works without wasting any time. Hi, I'm Misty Winkler, and I talk about organization not like Pinterest or Martha Stewart, because organization is really about being prepared for your real life and serving others with love the way you have been called to. Organization is not a personal pet project that's all about us. Organization is about being ready and willing to do the right next thing. So that's what we talk about here. If you like that, hit subscribe, hit the little bell, give this video a thumbs up. And today we're going to talk about your calendar, which is one of your most important organizational tools. Let's dig in. So there are all kinds of ways that you can keep a calendar. Am I right? How many different ways have you tried to keep a calendar? There are wall calendars, pocket calendars, planners, digital calendars, apps. So many different ways to keep a calendar. Which one's the right one? After all, really, your calendar is your most important organizational tool, because unless you know what you have to do, when and where, you're not really organized. That's a big, huge part of it. So we have to keep track of where we need to be, when, with what. We need our calendar for that. So let me tell you the 3 things that your calendar needs, and then you tell me the best calendar that will do that for you. Leave a comment below telling me what calendar you use and which calendar you think will work best based on these 3 use tips. First, your calendar has to be fully accurate. That means that if an appointment time changes, your calendar has to change. Your calendar should never have any canceled or incorrect appointment information. We need to keep our calendars up to date. If every time we look at our calendar, we have to mentally filter out things that are not actually accurate, then our calendar is not helping us be prepared in the way that it's supposed to. So when we have an accurate calendar, of course it has everything. It has every time-bound obligation on it. If it has to happen at a certain time, at a certain place, it has to be on the calendar. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if it is not time specific, it does not belong on the calendar. Tasks, to-do items, those things do not belong on the calendar. They belong on a to-do list, which you should look at every day, but not on your calendar, because if your calendar has clutter, then you will miss appointments. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So keep your calendar accurate. That means nothing false, and everything that's true about your time is on your calendar. Once you have an accurate calendar, you have to actually look at it. That's my biggest organization tip right there, is if you don't look at your calendar, it does you no good at all. So you have to look at your calendar. That means that it needs to be in a place where you will see it. Maybe that's your computer screen. Maybe that's your phone. Maybe that's something big and bold on your wall. Maybe it's a planner that goes everywhere with you. Whatever it is, you have to actually look at it. You should look at it at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, and of course, whenever you are adding or deleting anything. Multiple times a day, you should be looking at that calendar. And finally, tip number 3, color code your calendar for at a glance reference. Sometimes people will say that they don't put repeating obligations on their calendar because they just know them. Write them all on the calendar. But it is true that you do want some things to really stand out, and you should use color for that, whether that's colored pens or maybe highlighters. Use a different color for those obligations that you need to be less visible. Maybe use gray or a light blue, and then use a bright, bold, dark color for those things that really need to pop and grab your attention. The whole point of keeping a calendar is that you don't have to keep things here, but that you have it written down at a place that you can glance at. So the more that you can do to make it at a glance helpful to you, the better your calendar is going to work for you, which means the more organized it really is, because organization is not about how pretty it looks. Organization is about that calendar communicating the truth to you so you can be prepared and fulfill your obligations. So leave a comment below to tell me what you use as your calendar. Hit the subscribe button, the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and I will be here next Monday with more tips on really organizing your life. It's not about label makers, fancy containers, beautiful planners, all those things. It's really about self-control, doing the right next thing, and being prepared to do the good works that God has prepared for you to do. All of life, and even all of our organization, is about glorifying God and enjoying Him forever. So let's do that.